My guest today is one of our really, really good friends, Courtney. Well, Courtney Bronson, Courtney Kaehlert. It says here in the thing, Courtney Bronson. So do you want me to? It's Courtney. Just call you. Let's stick with the first name. I'm going back and forth with last names because Courtney and her husband, Casey, are early students of ours and really over the time have become dear friends of us. And Michelle and Sophia actually went to their wedding, right?
Yep.
And I couldn't go because I had to go to a different wedding in a different part of the country. But first of all, how are you doing, Courtney?
Great. We're having a good time just plugging away here, keeping busy.
Awesome. Wonderful. So first of all, for those who don't know Courtney and Casey, or Courtney in this case, Casey, we don't care. Nobody cares about Courtney or Casey right now.
He's too busy working.
It's the Courtney show right now, right? So give us a little bit. So you're doing land flipping, obviously, but it's not everything you have done always. So give us a little bit about your background. Tell us your story, first of all.
Well, let's see. Years ago, my then boyfriend, but now husband, and I were both working in the restaurant industry. Anywhere from waiting tables. I was a bartender. He worked at a cheesecake factory, and I worked at a TGI Fridays. And we were looking for a little bit something more than just being in the restaurant industry. So Casey bought a $5 ebook to how to make extra money on the side. And we kind of turned it into a business where we both quit our jobs and ran a medical supply business for about 7 years. It was just the two of us, like I said, a $5 ebook. We created a team we had 7 employees at one point and about $500,000 in sales a year. So definitely got us out of the JOB, the just over broke mindset. But unfortunately that business, we were always working in it. It always pulled us back. We didn't have much freedom. We were kind of shackled to always having like the 9-to-5 job, and we wanted more. We didn't want to have to be at a desk or have to be in our office.
So I remember, just quickly, if I may jump in, I remember that medical supply business was basically test strips, right?
Correct.
I mean, this is an ingenious idea that you had there, that you got out of the book, that there's a whole bunch of people who are diabetic and they're not using all the test strips. And they need money. And so they're selling this test strip on the sealed and everything and all original on the secondary market. So you would go around or have somebody go around and buy that for them and then sell them again, wholesale to somebody else that would sell them at a higher price again, right? So you basically were in test strip wholesaling.
Yes, exactly. We also did work with, people here in the community and supplied individuals as well. So we were just trying to pass on savings. But yeah, we had a driver that would go out 6 days a week. And with that had to be what we called a route coordinator. So an operator that was basically working with the driver, and that was usually me. So we did hire out, but, when people don't show up, then that's me. So I very much enjoyed the freedom, but every vacation I still had to work. I remember sitting in a beautiful hotel in Cabo and being like, I'll see you in a couple hours, go for a walk, and having to, at least I was in Cabo, but still, it's frustrating to still know I couldn't enjoy my vacation fully. So
coordinate the route. And that means you really know the inside out of the city you live in very well.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Every corner there. Now, is it the world's most scalable business? No. Is it a business that you want to run forever? No, but it got us out of your job. It got us going, and it got us to put your sights higher, right?
Right. There was definitely a ceiling to what we could make. Everybody's like, why don't you put one in every city? And it just wasn't very scalable. It was, it left us open for a lot of people to take advantage of us. And basically we got to the point where everybody was, and I just didn't want to do it. We needed a different opportunity to create our financial freedom.
There are certain businesses that are just simply not designed to scale multi-city.
Right.
Like I remember one of my financial mentors telling me at one time about this big franchise company that started buying up and building car washes, like big full service car washes all around the country. And he says, like, if they're going to break down, they're going to fail. And soon enough, a few years they failed, because once you get into that multi-city kind of thing, you're building up so much overhead that you're overhead, because then you need a city manager and you need drivers there and you need this, and you start needing all these layers of management that kills all the profits that you possibly can do.
Yeah.
So you guys saw that. That was great. And so what did you do? What happened next?
Well, we went to a Jack Bosch seminar. And
Hey,
we
that
said,
was not planted. I didn't know she was saying it. No.
yeah, no, it is really, we did actually check into a few other seminars. There was, tax delinquent method and stuff. So we kind of were looking for something else, but we wanted something else that was already kind of structured. So because the other business we built from the ground up, a $5 ebook, to $500,000 in sales, and it was very challenging, and we just wanted something that we know we could do and already have the systems and process in place. So went to a seminar and ended up buying that program, and then it sat on the shelf for a little bit. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. So
Shelf help, I know.
Yep. Her other business just kept pulling us back in. So we finally got dedicated. I think it was like 2015, where we're like, all right, we're going to open this and start watching the modules. And we just started doing the process of it. So that was great. Learned how to do it. And we are kind of that weird success story for a first time like mailing, where you send them out. I think we sent like 200 mailings. And Michelle always jokes how we failed forward because, calls come in and we didn't return them like for a month. Like, I don't want to call them, you call them. I don't want to do this, you do this. And finally we returned the calls and got a deal under contract. And believe it or not, Casey put it on Facebook pre-marketplace. Like, this is before you're able to really sell stuff.
Yeah.
So, and found a neighbor or a guy that grew up in the area and took it off our hands within a couple weeks, and a $25,000 profit. So
boom.
This is what we did on the side of our other business. I mean, yes, we had to definitely put a couple hours aside a week to make this happen, but yeah, so that's a huge win.
Yeah, that's a humongous win, particularly with 200 letters. That doesn't happen all the time.
No,
it doesn't happen that often. Actually.
Yeah, this is not a normal story of, like I said, Michelle says we fail forward, like we had, how much more opportunity would we have had if we called people back faster?
Yeah, exactly. Which you then ultimately later on did, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like half a year later, and you still got deals from that then.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the, for everyone watching or listening, that's the crazy thing about land flipping, that there's so little competition. And of course there is some competition in some markets. There's a few other people doing this, but compared to houses, there's so little competition that you can literally forget about calling people back for like months at a time. And then you call them back and it's like, oh yeah, I'm still interested in selling. And nobody else contacted them in the meantime.
Yeah.
Right. So now they're like, yeah, okay. And then you still get deals done that way. So now, then I understand you joined, at some point of time, you joined coaching, right?
Yes. Well, after that first deal, our business pulled us back into it, and we just stopped like for an entire year. Like, oh, we got one deal, we're done, which is, I do not recommend, because, why wouldn't you keep the momentum? But then about 9 months later, we're like, we got to get in the coaching program, because obviously we know this works. So I think we started in like 2017 is when we started the coaching program. Had an excellent coach help guide us through a lot of, challenging situations. And a year later, we sold our business and went all into land. So ditched the other one, and I have a lot less stress.
Right. So now what happened? So like, other than COVID, before COVID, but how was your life look like then?
With
Or
the
now?
other business?
Now, if we don't, yeah.
You mean with the previous business that I had, correct?
No, right now. So how does your life look like since then?
Oh, I mean, my life, I'm very blessed, but my life hasn't changed much. Like my business is still there. We're selling land faster. I can't keep it in my inventory fast enough, or I can't get contracts under signs fast enough. So yeah, it's been very fortunate. We were just talking about this the other day, that if we were still in our old business, like it would have taken us under. Like there's no way that business would have survived what's going on right now. And
so when you're saying your life hasn't changed much with COVID, your life hasn't changed much, but compared to the prior business, your life has changed a bit.
Oh yeah. I mean, had to wake up with an alarm. I had to be places on, here and answer phones from this time to this time. And then by the end of the day, I was too tired. Now I don't wake up to an alarm. I walk my dog for an hour if I feel like it. So that's the biggest difference, is just having the freedom to schedule my day how I want, when I want, is nice.
And the other part about COVID is actually a good point. I mean, so many businesses have been affected by that. Your business would have, the other business, with a medical supply business, would have been majorly affected by that too, right?
Yes, very, very much so. It would have probably definitely taken us under. Now, like looking back to all the little details of it, I don't see how it could have survived. So it's just nice.
Makes total sense. So good. So now, what do you like most about the land business?
Well, I love the freedom that it has. I feel kind of guilty saying this, but I mean, now with all the children at home, it's different, but I have more quality time with like my fur babies, my pets, than most of my friends do with their actual children. So like, it kind of saddens me, but it also is like my quality of life, my stress levels are, non-existent. It's very nice and a peaceful life to live, to, I love working at home. So that's been consistent for me, and it's been a blessing in disguise. I can't imagine like where we would have been if we didn't take this path. This was definitely the correct path for us.
Awesome. So you also took, even with coaching or after coaching, I think it didn't even exist back then. You guys also took our maximizer training, right? You took that not too long ago, right? How was that? Because back then it wasn't included in coaching yet.
Correct. Right. Yes, that is correct. So yeah, we took that course, learned how to set up everything in the Investment Dominator, which is very user-friendly and easy to use to, move your leads through. And they set you up with some leads so you can actually go through the process of mailing letters out. And I think it was 2 years later, we got a call from the leads that we got from that class, the Maximizer class, and got a deal. And it was a quick turnaround, sell it to the neighbor. And I think it was like about an $8,000 profit from a lead that we got from that class that came through 2 years later.
Wow. Now, one things that about that maximizer is you took that 2-day intensive class, obviously, where you guys, as you know, where we teach you the use of our CRM software, the Investment Dominator, and give you a complete walkthrough to the Land Profit Generator program. After you had done already dozens and dozens of deals, and did you still, like, from a point of view, like, did you still learn anything in that class?
Oh, absolutely. Well, one, just helping get our website set up, but it helps understand the process more of how the system works, because you can actually see your leads go in and see where they're at and status with them. So yeah, and it was just great to be around other people that are also in the land business. So just even, like minds getting together, it was very, very helpful. And this was back when we could all, gather in one spot and take the class together. So
sure. So awesome. So great. Fantastic. So now the next question I have is now let's jump into a few deals and into some of the things. So particularly into the selling side. So, because you had, we know each other for many years, and I know you're selling properties like hotcakes. You said earlier you can't get them in fast enough. Right. So what are you doing on the selling side that gets you to sell these properties so fast?
Consistency. With every property that comes in, it goes through the same process. I make sure whether it's myself or my VA who's doing the marketing is on top of it weekly. There's not a Friday that doesn't go by. Fridays are marketing day, especially on Facebook. So that's every Friday spent, like I said, whether it's myself or a VA, and it is consistency. It's constantly, weekly posting here and tweaking your ads if you didn't get a response. It seems like many just put their ad out and kind of, wait to see, if I don't get a response, I tweak it.
Right. Don't get a response. And it's like, oh, this doesn't work. No.
Yeah.
You add so many times. I do occasionally sometimes when when one of our coaching students, or forever, usually it's with coaching students, that they do everything right, but they're struggling with the selling still. So sometimes they reach out to me and it's like, okay, let's do a quick call. And I can always tell that they're doing everything right, but there's a few tweaks that they just need to make. And once those tweaks are made, boom, usually within a matter of a couple of weeks, the property's under contract for sale. And so number one, you consistency every week, you post, repost, adjust. And then number two, you tweak the listings based on how much feedback and responses you gotten. Now,
Yep.
what are some of the tweaks you do? Just is there like the top 5 tweaks that you find are useful on a listing if it doesn't get enough traction?
Well, if it's not getting enough traction, we're talking about like Facebook Marketplace. I will delete it and put it back on, especially on Friday. Like I had one property over like 14 days, just only had a couple hundred views, which is not very good whatsoever. So I took it off, put it back on Friday, and the next day by 24 hours, it had a couple hundred views. So knowing that your ad is not sticking, the other thing I do is when I first place my ad, I kind of make my pictures plain Jane, but once it sticks, I'll go back and edit it, and I have a little bit more pizzazzy pictures that I put that might say, you know, maybe the first time I go to market it, I'm just looking for a cash price. So I make sure the cash price is real big. What my coach told me, which I love, is a lot of times people just look at the pictures and not at the ad. So in the pictures, I'll put the details of the property. So even if they're not looking at my ad, they're looking at my ad because it's in the picture.
Right.
So
yeah,
just
we're living in a Instagram society of quick pictures, 10 seconds, it moves on, scroll through Facebook thing, and people don't read anymore. You can have, like, I think when we do our coaches session, the coaches all complain, or students also complain that the buyers just ask question after question after question of stuff that is already in the listing.
Yep.
Because they're not reading the listing, right? So this is really smart by putting actually not too much detail, of course, right? Because otherwise it becomes a book again in the picture.
Right.
But a few key pieces in the picture, you get them to see what you want, the most important pieces you want them to see. Very cool. And I don't know if everyone heard that, but you're using plain Jane pictures first, and then you edit them. Why do you do that?
To make sure my ad sticks. I've noticed, especially with Facebook Marketplace, if my featured ad is a little too obnoxious, it doesn't like it and I don't get a lot of views. But if I do a simple ad, it seems to stick and I get a lot of views. And then again, I'll like, okay, this week I'm going to more market my cash price, see how many, people I have interacting with me. And then if that's not working, then I maybe switch it and just go for, the 500 down and just talk about the finance option. So I kind of also target cash and then the finance options separately as well.
That makes sense. That's beautiful. Any other tips that you do?
Well, the first thing I do when a property comes in is always neighbor letters. That is definitely my first step. So before I even get my Facebook and Craigslist ads out, I always have my neighbor letters out already. And when I do send them out, my first one, because I do send multiple ones if I need to, we've been saying all offers considered, and we don't even put a price on it because we just want the neighbors to call us because they do a lot of the due diligence for us. We had a neighbor even walk a property and take pictures of it for us. We didn't ask, and they didn't end up buying it, but there was, he just created my ad, so thanks. So that is definitely always step one. And then I'll go on to market on Facebook and Craigslist and, hit the Zillow if that's not working. And like I said, we're always pivoting our angles if we're not getting a response. If basically I give my property about 2 weeks to get sold. And if it's not, then I pivot, give it another 2 weeks. If not, change it again. So it's kind of our method. And ever since we've kind of gotten this down, property is going out a lot faster. I felt like in the past, we kind of might have a property for a couple months and getting close to the end of the contract. And now it's like, oh shoot, did we get that into title? Because I already found the buyer. It's going too fast almost.
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of mastery, right? Because when you really And also, I mean, you started this 2015. Okay, you dragged your feet until 17, but then you did deals like you got into coaching when 17 or 18. You said.
We got into coaching in 17 and then sold our business in 18. So it was a year
Oh,
after
until
coaching.
until the business was sold, even the land business still was somewhat slow because your business sucked you in so much. Yeah. But then in 18, which is now 2 years,
Yeah.
which is very typical. So the first year you do deals and you quit your job and you're full time, or not your job, but you sold your business, but you're full time into this now.
Yeah.
And then over time you keep tweaking and keep making better. That's why it's truly a mastery project. So loving it. And now you're selling these properties very, very quickly.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because a lot of our students are coming to us and it's like, well, Jack, the deal's just not selling after a week or 2 weeks. It's like, well, you haven't reached mastery yet, right?
Right.
Work with us, work through the 2-day maximizer process where you learn these things. Work with us as a coaching student, and you'll be accompanied by a coach over the course of a year. And as a matter of fact, after you guys reach mastery, you're now part of our coaches too, Courtney, right? So you came on board as one of our coaches after we seeing that you're like flipping these properties and boom, 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 they're just going out like hotcakes. We're like, we want her to be part of our coaching group because that is the level of mastery that our coaches provide inside of our organization. So we love having you as a coach, obviously, and we love your successes. You just recently, actually today, you reported a couple of your students are having some really good deals done, right?
Yeah, super exciting. I am new to coaching, but yeah, my student just got one deal, like cash in her pocket with $8,000 profit, and the other one will profit her about $25,000.
All right.
And the earnest money is already in the bank and all everything, so it's going to move forward. Somebody doesn't hopefully put down that much, but yeah, so super excited for them.
That is fantastic. So congratulations to them and congratulations to you.
Yeah.
Great. So here's the thing. So what would you tell somebody that is kind of on the well, before we do that, I want to point out one other thing. You guys are like the biggest concert fans in the world, right?
Right.
So wasn't it last year that you guys went to like 50 concerts or something like that?
I hit around, we were around 40, 45. I think Casey was maybe a little bit closer to 50. So yeah, that's our cup of tea.
That is crazy. So now you basically, now concerts don't usually end at 8 p.m., right?
Right.
So now this business must be it's like the perfect business for you guys because you can go out until midnight or 1 or 2, whenever long the concert lasts, and then just sleep in and then go do it again next week.
Yep. Yeah. Usually, we have about 3 concerts a month on a normal life, but 3 to 4.
Yeah. And just now I feel for you. You're probably suffering a lot from that.
Yeah. Good thing YouTube's been helping me provide with some entertainment with live music. So
that's true. That's very true. Great. So with that, what do you think is what would you call the number one impact that this business had on you?
Number one impact. Overall, just happiness. I mean, like the reality is life is good. I mean, I do this with my husband. I wouldn't have it any other way. We make an amazing team. I think it has strengthened our relationship as well. Just having, to do this together as a team. I feel the other business more tore us apart, honestly, because there was so much stress involved with it. This is a different ball game where we're seeing each other grow. He definitely is amazing with the buyers, and so it's exciting to see how we both have grown, but also grown together in this. So just like that overall happiness of day-to-day life, waking up and loving what you do, the freedom to travel when I want, do what I want. With the other business, if I wasn't there, I either had to bring it with me or it had to stop. Like we shut it down. People are still making it happen. Title companies are doing their job. The marketing's still working. So it's just overall happiness and the freedom. It's just kind of like a big weight has been lifted off your shoulders, and it took a while to get here. It wasn't like this happened in 3 months, and it is a lot of hard work, but it just keeps getting easier and easier. It's so funny. I remember years ago saying, just wait for a couple years and we'll be like, this is so easy, because all your systems are set up and you already have a buyer's list, and, it's just kind of talking to a few people every day and making it happen.
That's exactly right. I 100% agree with you
Yeah.
on it. That over time, as you create mastery, it is just fantastic. And mastery is it becomes second nature. You don't think about all these details anymore because you've seen them before, you've done it before. It's a process that you know. So wonderful. So with that, the last question I have for you is like, what would you tell somebody who's just at the that's just kind of on the fence right now, whether or not they should engage in this and should get going with this and should get started with this and should get enrolling in the maximizer or in coaching or in any of the things we have. What would you tell somebody about somebody?
Well, I wish I did it a lot faster. So I'd say, commit and do it. I mean, it's just like going to school or taking a class or, going to get a license to be a mechanic. Like, you're paying for a class, you're going to need to show up, you're going to need to participate. And then when you get done, you will know how to do this, except now you get to know how to create your own business, create your own freedom. So it'd be, if should I do this? Should I not? Just do it. I mean, it works. There's so many successful students. There's so many resources available now today. I love the Facebook group that is available. It is beyond helpful. I'm still learning as we go, and it's just a lovely community to be a part of. But, like, where were you 3 years ago? If you don't do something different, you're still going to be in the same spot, right? You're where you are now. So if you want to make a change, do it and commit and don't drag your feet. I wish we hit this ground running, like we'd be, owning an own island right now. But so yeah, just do it and start it, and it will teach you how
Hey,
to be financially free.
wonderful. When I was in Bora Bora right now, we saw that there were not too long ago. We saw that there was an island for sale for less than $500,000. So that's only like 50, $10,000 deals or 25 deals at $20,000, and you can have your own island in Bora Bora, right?
Yeah.
So wonderful. Thank you very much. I second that information. That so many people tell us that once they get started and really focus on it, they get in line, they stay in line, they do what it takes, they follow things, they get the advice, they get into the programs, they do it. There's not for no reason is that we call our program the Harvard of real estate, Harvard of land flipping. So because you end up coming out with a mastery at the end of the day of being able to do that. So with that said, Courtney, thank you very much for being on the show. Thank you very much for being here with me. So yeah, Courtney, thank you very much for being here with me. I really enjoyed it. And with that said, thank you very much, everyone.